Hello and welcome once again to Deep Point, an extra podcast from Emerging Cricket where we go into more detail on stories that we didn't get to cover on the main weekly show. I'm Nick Skinner, but this episode I'm handing you straight over to our USA correspondent Nate Hayes as he chats with former England fast bowler Liam Plunkett ahead of his stint with the minor league cricket competition. Take it away, Nate.
Today's guest is none other than England international, World Cup champion, and brand new Major League Cricket member, Liam Plunkett. Liam, welcome to the Emerging Cricket Podcast.
No, it's great to speak to you, mate. We've hinted in the past of Instagram that something might happen, but I've tried to keep it a little bit hush. But it's nice to be able to talk to you and speak all things USA cricket, Major League Cricket, and obviously the minor league cricket. What's going ahead now?
Yeah, it's very exciting to me as a fan of cricket in this country to finally have domestic system and to see, quality people being involved in that. So for starters, your wife is from Pennsylvania, and so you spend a lot of time here in the United States. Can you tell us your reasons for coming to the USA for Major League Cricket and minor league cricket, and what your role will be?
I met my wife 15 years ago now. She'll probably listen to this, so she'll probably tell me what date specifically, how long ago it was, but 15 years ago. So obviously I've been coming to the States since then for winters at a time, in between playing, in between touring with England and county cricket. And back then I didn't realize there's places I could go and train and use cricket facilities. I would use like an all-star baseball facility in Westchester, PA. And then it was only further down the line. This was before 2018, before I went to a Sri Lanka tour, that I found out there was a facility in Warminster, just outside Philadelphia with cricket lanes. And I went ahead and played some cricket down there, which was, unbelievable for me. I didn't realize there was cricket so close to home. But moving on to the point about why now, I think we approached the subject before Christmas, speaking to the guys who run the Major League, Samir and Samir Mehta and the other guys, talking about how I possibly could come on board with the Major League. And for me, my first thing was I was with Surrey, and I wanted to fulfill that contract. They've been really good for me over the last few years. The first year I signed with Surrey was the World Cup. I didn't see too much of me. The second year was obviously the pandemic and not much sport was played. I played a little bit of T20. And this year I didn't really get going. Obviously got injured at the wrong time, and then the games came thick and fast and didn't really find my feet, but managed to sort of do like a mentor role at Surrey a little bit in the second team there. And so it came to this decision. Obviously I feel like I can play county cricket for a few more years, but with the opportunity to play Major League Cricket in a place like America, where the sport's for fanatics, and when they get a hold of something, it gets big and bigger and bigger. And to be able to be in one place and live with my wife in our house that we've had for the last 8 to 10 years in Westchester, PA, like I mentioned before, it seemed like an opportunity of a lifetime. If someone told me 14 years ago, when I first went to Westchester, that there was going to be a facility 5 miles down the road at Exton, that they were going to be playing minor league cricket, I wouldn't have believed it. It was such a far thing to think about. And that's happening now with watching, obviously, the minor league going ahead now, and that's just down the road from our house in America. It's unbelievable. So to get that chance to sign this contract, to come on board and play my Major League Cricket and be attached to the Philadelphians, which are classed as obviously home now. I felt like that for a long time. Obviously got here and in Philadelphia. So be part of that, the academy there at Philadelphia, and also just pretty much the northeast of cricket, where the facilities are getting built there. I'm going to be part of that, help developing the cricket there, bring the youngsters through and help the guys around that system, keep making it more professional, like other guys have come across and done so, like Corey, who's over there now, has obviously got runs last week, but just having the guys around to make it more professional, to help develop the game, to show the people coming through, well, this is the way that people around the world, successful people, go about the game, and it is a professional game. And there's lanes now where you can earn money in cricket. And for youngsters coming through, like young guys from USA, if they see that and get an appetite for that and can go on and play for USA, that'd be a reward for me to help them people to do that. Well, still sort of being relevant in the game and just coming off playing county cricket and the World Cup, I feel like I can offer a lot as a player as well as a mentor / coach.
Right. And Philadelphia actually has a tremendous cricket history as far as cricket histories go in this country. I'm sure you've familiarized yourself with that since. with Bart King, being the home of Bart King, who's the best cricketer in the history of the United States, and many say one of the best bowlers in the world, in the history of world cricket. I know you watched some of the minor league games, and you've kept up with the Philadelphians. What are your thoughts of that team, first of all, and what are your thoughts of the standard of the game in the United States?
I think like everything, there's a lot of talent on show. By watching, you can see some very good professionals, some good overseas players, and a lot of good youngsters coming through. Hopefully, down the line, you want to see that switch where the youngsters from the USA are the ones who dominate the game, and that's going to take time because a lot of these guys have not played against international players, players that are coming from overseas who've played at high level. So obviously, the first couple of years is the youngsters and guys not played against that quality is getting used to that cricket and then proving themselves against it, and then realizing I can actually play as good as these guys, and then believing in themselves. But by watching it, there's some talent. And as you said, when USA cricket and American get behind the sport, it can get on a rocket, it can fly. So, yeah, just watching that, I was intrigued because obviously I know there's some good cricketers who went over there. As I've mentioned before, there's Corey, who I played against a lot in international cricket. But just watching it, the way they're about to go to business, and watching it the last few weeks, month or so, there's plenty of talent on show. And as you said, it's just putting that in the right direction, and hopefully I can jump on board and help these guys head in that right direction.
Yeah, and I can vouch for some of the quality of this. Having been a cricket fan here for not terribly long time, but long enough to understand the culture and the history of the country to a degree. There have been some upstarts in the past, and so when you hear that something's coming again, there's some cynicism naturally. But having been around a lot of the people involved in Major League Cricket in the Bay Area a couple of months ago, some of the players that they brought over and how they're working with the communities and working in the league to improve cricket in the United States, I see it happening. I can vouch for the fact that they seem to be doing a very good job, if you ask me. So to have players like yourself, coaches like yourself in this part of the country, I'm on the East Coast also, but in the Northeast, that's a big deal. We need more facilities there for sure. The quality of players, we have a lot of great players in the Northeast. We need more facilities and more opportunities. So it's great to see them bringing people in who bought into the idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, that's what is. I'm coming to still play at my highest level. I want to play in the major league and the minor league, and I would turn up and play village cricket the same as I would play international cricket. I'd turn up every game, mark my run up out, and every delivery is a delivery, no matter where I am in the world or who I'm playing for. And that's what I'm looking to do in America. Whoever I'm playing for, I'm trying to increase that standard. I want to, as I said, develop people. I want to challenge myself. And as I said, it's me coming across. It's obviously a good standard. In the minor league and in the major leagues, is you want to create an environment where everyone's fighting for the places. No matter who you are or where you're from, you want to be able to challenge yourself and think, well, actually, I need to be on my A game to play in these competitions. And that's the drive for me, is to come across and bring these people through. Hopefully I can set a good example and lead the way. And as I said, help the youngsters and the team I'm involved with to get better and show them the professional route.
Right. And this is one of the issues that's brought up a lot here. There's a debate, and it's natural that it would happen, that the damage versus the good that it does to bring in foreign players to the system here. There's a lot of people protective about their chances, on the national team, and bringing in better players here might dilute their chances. But my personal opinion is, this is when you're talking about, and I'm talking about chances of getting on the international team, the national USA team. Yeah. It's already very, very, very hard to do. And whenever you're picking a national team, you're not picking 11 or 14 players every time. You're picking, basically, there's only one or two spots. There's never 11 full spots. So it's a hard thing to do anyhow. And raising the standard of cricket in this country, I think, is a very good move. You want, like you said, you want the young players to come up through some really difficult situations to make a diamond out of themselves. And we're already seeing some of it now. It's great to see some of the young guys being put up against very good talent on a consistent basis and being able to watch it happen and seeing them develop. We have a young man, Václav Hela, left arm orthodox spinner in California, who's leading the entire minor leagues in wickets right now. I mean, he bowls an over, he takes a wicket. It's ridiculous. So it's great to see guys like that. I mean, he's doing it every week too. So it's great to see that happen. And there's many other young players stepping up. And, you know, in my opinion, it's a good thing to bring the good talent over.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, it's easy for me to say that because I'm a guy coming in. And for me, as I said, in my career, if someone said to me, you're looking to play for US, I'm looking to come to play Major League Cricket. My end goal is I'm there to promote cricket and play my best cricket for the Major League and the minor league. As I said, even if it was something I ever considered right now to play for USA, which I'm not, is I'll be, in 3 years' time? And I'm not stupid enough to think I'll be good enough at that point. Do you know what I mean? I don't take things for granted. And by then, you've got the guys in that USA squad. They're getting better and better, playing more international cricket. They're playing against better people day in, day out. So I think that if people think that, like, oh, they're just going to come across and play, I mean, it needs to be earned. The guys who are coming across, it's very good cricketers. But the next 3 years, how far can the guys that are already there, how much can they improve? They might keep some of these guys out. So it's not for granted, right? You can't take it for granted. I feel what the guys are going to come across is to make it stronger cricket, to make the minor league stronger. The younger guys and the local amateur guys who play minor league are going to play against better cricketers, which will make them improve. Or if people don't improve, then you drop out and people come in and take their place, and then the pool gets bigger and stronger. And that's how you develop that pool of players. And then your minor leagues gets better, your major league get better, then USA cricket gets better. So I feel for me, it's always a win-win. And I said, I think people shouldn't take it for granted because people are going to learn a lot in the next 3 years. So people who are going to be qualified, it doesn't give them a green pass to just get picked for USA. So that's obviously my opinion. And I'm sure all these guys are professional enough to know exactly what it's cricket, right? It can change in a split instance. So
it's a big league. It's 27 teams right now, the minor league. And that's massive. It's a very ambitious league. But one of the things I like about it, a lot of times, and you're going to get this when you don't have a defined domestic system, when you have just a lot of weekend tournaments and things like that. There's a tendency oftentimes to have a little bit of nepotism within the teams, within the communities. That's not going to get you very far when you have a defined domestic system.
Yeah, like a good structure in place. Yeah, I totally agree.
When you have a good structure in place, you're going to lose when you do that. You're just going to lose because everyone has to go by the same rules when you're compiling a team. So you have to. So do you want to win, or do you want to fill very limited spots with people that you're trying to boost just because you like them? So
yeah, I mean, it's that thing, isn't it? I don't know. If you're playing someone who keeps failing, you're doing yourself a disservice, really, aren't you? So you're not going to make the guy you're picking any better by keep picking him day in, day out by doing the same thing when people are chomping at his heels who perform and who should be playing. And that happens everywhere in the world, right? That's just the way sometimes it is. But as you said, with this structure in place, that should eliminate that kind of thing.
Right.
And the best should play.
Right. And I think that's definitely going to come out of this, which is something we've needed in this cricket culture in this country for, forever. You're a big sports fan. You're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I know you were happy when they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. If you had grown up in this country, what sport do you think you would have played?
I don't know. It's obviously my dad was a good cricketer. He didn't make it to be a professional level, but he was around the leagues. He was always like the best pro seamer. He'd always finish 1 or 2 in the league with wickets and stuff. So obviously my dad is one of my role models, one of my cricket heroes growing up. So I'm sure whatever sport he did, I would have sort of took up to it. But I'm not sure. For me, I don't know. I'm not quick enough or strong enough in certain parts of NFL. Maybe I've got a decent arm. I'm quite tall to be like a quarterback. I'd love the quarterback salary. But I think looking at it, maybe like a pitcher, right? So like, I don't know. It came over in stages because when I first came to USA, the Philadelphians were flying and obviously they won the World Series. And then obviously the Sixers were at a point where they were tanking, obviously doing that, and
Sure.
And now they're back in the mix with obviously their players, Embiid, and
Trust the system. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The process. Trust the process.
That's it. Trust the process. That's the word.
And then obviously Eagles won the Super Bowl, and as you said, I remember watching that. We were practicing. We're in Tasmania, and it was in between nets. The security guard at Tasmania was watching it on his iPhone. So in between deliveries and the nets, I was just looking at it, have a little peek over, watching the game. And so so it comes around in cycles, right? I've not really. I'll watch it. I'll flick on TV and watch the sport and stuff. But I'm probably going to say a pitcher.
Can you throw a spiral? Can you throw a football well?
I mean, I can. I always thought as a cricketer over here, at a time, I reckon I had one of the best throwing arms in the county.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really threw a football. I remember coming across in a winter, and I obviously had a few months off. When I went down the local park with a few of the guys, had a couple of beers, and one of the guys brought his missus with him, his girlfriend, and I reckon all them guys' arms was just as good as mine. And they were like throwing it like perfect spirals. It took me a while, but I got it. But it's not perfect by any means.
Yeah, it's a fun skill. When I was a kid, that's what I would. If I couldn't find someone to play with, I would literally just go out and throw a football against trees. And I just find a new tree, and that would be my receiver, and that's what I did like every day.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like obviously this side of the world and cricket side, I would pinch my mum's stockings or tights, and then hang that on the washing line and put a cricket ball in it, and I'll just hit it on the washing line in the back garden, just hitting it over and over again, and it's just something you find time. And obviously that's helped me. There's a lot of things that have developed since pinching your mum's underwear, I'm sure, to cricket skills now, but that did job for me.
Well, you could package it now, put your face on the wrapper.
Yeah, I'll get that. Yeah, I'll do it. We can link up, mate. Well, it can be an advert, a commercial for your podcast.
There you go. So you first appeared for England in 2005, and of course you won the World Cup in 2019. The game has changed a lot from the beginning to the end of your career. How did you keep up with it? What did you do to make sure that you stayed up with the game?
I think always be willing to change your role in a team if that's not what you do anymore. I think when I first started, I used to open the ball a lot more and try and swing the ball. And as time developed, I feel like I changed because I worked on my fitness a lot and I got stronger and I started bowling quicker. At one point, I wasn't as accurate. So then I got, all right, well, I'm just going to run up and bowl quick. And with that, I got confidence and accuracy came back. So I think you always be willing to change. I went through cycles, as I said, with a new ball bowler. I got a lot of wickets playing for Durham, first-class cricket, opening the ball in. And then when I went to Yorkshire, playing red ball, I bowled first change, bowling short around the wicket. I got wickets for them. And with white ball, I first started swinging the ball. And then towards the back end, the last 4 or 5 years, it was middle overs of hitting the pitch hard, cross seam, wobble seam, like cutters and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to adapt and to change the game. Sometimes it is, I guess, frightening to be able to change, but I guess it's if you stay stagnant, that's when you'll probably start going backwards. So don't be afraid, even if I'm not saying like I've ever been on top or the best, but when I felt like I've been on top of my game, how can you get better and change that a little bit? So don't be frightened. Don't be frightened to change that. I feel like you see that with Joe Root currently. He changed his something in his batting setup at the start of the year after coming back from overseas trips, and he struggled to get runs to Yorkshire the first few games, and now he's adapted to it, and obviously he keeps reeling off hundreds after hundreds. So the best people do it in the world. It's when you're at that pinnacle and you think you're in a good spot, can you change a little bit? It's a bit like business, right? I guess it's if you stay the same and you get complacent with being like that, people are just going to overtake you. So keep adapting with it, and that's what I felt like I did quite well.
Yeah, honestly, since I've discovered cricket myself, that's one of the things I love about the game the most is that not many sports you really get the chance to change your entire role. And obviously, when you're on a team, you're at the mercy of that team, what your role is, and you have to be able to adapt and you have to be willing to adapt. And you can't, I think in cricket, you can't really think of yourself in a box, You have to think of yourself as someone who's learning all the time.
Especially in like the franchise cricket a little bit, because you might be a guy who bats number 1, 2, 3, and you got franchise cricket and you bat number 6. So your game has to be able to adapt. Same as a bowler. And you have the best bowlers in the world who play for the country, then go to play IPL or different franchise cricket, and that's not their role. So I think the modern day cricketer is you have to be able, well, not just say modern, I guess in general, if you want to be good at the game, be able to do A, B, C, and D rather than just your 1A, you know?
There's not really a cookie cutter solution to make cricket popular all around the world. While franchise cricket should boost cricket here in the United States quite a bit, and you yourself have played franchise cricket all around the world, do you think franchise cricket has harmed this county system in England as much as some people say it has?
I've not played too much county cricket the last few years, and maybe that's, I guess, the point where because your players get adjusted to playing white ball cricket and you play more white ball cricket around the world, I guess. But that's not everyone in the county system. Not everyone's playing franchise cricket. There's a lot of people that are playing county cricket day in, day out. It's a great game for me. It's so rewarding to win games of 4-day cricket and win a championship trophy with the guys that you've been digging in the trenches with the last how many games. For me, it's a great game and very rewarding, like I just said, but maybe it diluted it. It's like the 100. I felt the 100 was a good success. I enjoyed being involved in that. But then if you look at obviously the Royal London Trophy, you can look at it two sides. It's an opportunity for youngsters to come through and play and get an opportunity, but also the competition is not as strong because all the guys are playing in the 100. And that's just a fact, right? The guys who've done well in the Royal London, they can't be stupid enough to think they've played against the best teams, because it's not true. I've not really thought about it too much because maybe I've been involved in the white ball stuff and I've played in it, and I've been fortunate to do that. And in my career, I've played a lot of red ball, and I felt towards the back end of my career, the white ball was the way I went. So does it dilute it? Maybe. I think we play a lot of cricket. There's a lot of cricket in the English domestic, and obviously the guys going away, but I guess people are at a point, if you get offered good money to come play franchise cricket, a lot of these guys changes their life, can buy a house, can do whatever. Like, you'd be stupid to turn that down.
Right.
And in cricket career, I'm very fortunate with some other guys to have a long cricket career. Not everyone's careers last that long. So you got to take the chance. Well, yeah, I should take this chance because in 5, 6, 7 years, I'm not playing. I won't get opportunity to earn money this quickly again. So I feel maybe it is diluted a little bit, but as I said, I'm not trying to sit on the fence or anything, but I've not really thought about it too much, maybe because I've been involved in it a little bit.
Right. Yeah. The way I see it, one of the great things cricket has to offer is all the different formats. So there's kind of something for everybody. If you like cricket, I could watch pretty much any format myself, and appreciate it. But I think that's, to me, that's one of the very cool things about it. You have all these formats. You really have infinite formats if you think about it. You just make, it's a perfect backyard sport. You go out with some friends and you change the rules in just a little bit. You can play it in any little space pretty much.
Yes.
And so I think with all that creativity and diversity of the game, I feel like it shouldn't be terribly hard to find a way to make it popular in various places, to fit it perfectly to that culture or that what people like there. It's just so adaptable. I feel like people need to think about that a little bit more.
I think there's a place for all of it. It just maybe needs to be formatted a little bit different. I found it, obviously Milan just played 100, then credit to him, he just went and played the test match and got some runs. That's not an easy thing to do. He's been trying to whack the white ball in the 100, and then you go and play when the ball, I didn't see too much today, but then the red ball swings and nips around. That's fair play to him. That's not an easy task, especially coming off the defeat in the last test match and the pressure's on. So it just shows you, like, people can do it, but it's not easy to adapt. And that's tricky, isn't it? Because people watch the test stuff, and we struggled and we got bowled out and we didn't look great. But it's hard because you're going to drop people. The people are coming in from white ball cricket. It's a tricky transition. People who know the game that well think it's easy to just go for, it's just a ball, just hit the ball. And obviously the ball does a different thing, and it's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah, after watching Jimmy Anderson lately, I don't know how anybody hits the red ball, honestly. Like
Yeah, I know. He's unbelievable, isn't he? He just keeps getting better and better.
The definition of full member seems to be changing. in part because of the cost of test in first class cricket and because of some of the things we just talked about. Do you see red ball cricket having a place in the USA eventually? And how useful would a system like that be in developing cricketers here?
I think in any format, I think obviously the good coaching system and structure will teach the basics to youngsters and to guys coming through who want to learn the game. It's quite hard to be good T20 cricket if you don't have the fundamentals of being to have the basics right. I think you need to have that all in place. I hope all formats play in America, but I think for right now, like as I said, the hierarchy decide this, and obviously not me. But I guess right now, for the most exciting, I'm not sure the American public would want to watch a 4-day cricket nipping around like they'd want. Maybe in the future, as you said,
right.
But right now, you want something like the T20, which is fast and furious, isn't it? And it's exciting if you can pack out a crowd. And guys, you guys have already probably talked about this on the podcast, and when I listened, I think you guys did cover this. Like the crowds want to see similar to a home run. They want to see people hitting sixes, and there's more sixes in a game in the T20 than there is home runs in the baseball game.
For sure.
So I think obviously in the short term and maybe the next how many years, I feel like the white ball is obviously the way forward to maybe grab that crowd and give them a massive interest in cricket. And maybe down the line when they learn the rules and the minor details and they get in love with the sport, then maybe they might go down that avenue and want to learn more about cricket.
I think one of the things about test is versus T20, it's actually easier for me to explain test cricket to a new person because you just bat till you're out. You really don't have to talk about overs that much at first, you know?
Yeah.
But T20 is a little harder to explain, but I think the best way to enjoy it is to watch it or play it myself. The best way to learn it is, I think the best way to learn cricket is go out and play a game with some people, have some fun.
I feel like if you had people who are big sports fans in America, and generally this is the way it's going, if you have them in a bar or if you're at the stadium watching a game of T20 cricket on a flat wicket and the guys are hitting the balls into the crowd, they're going to fall in love with it again. It's a similar atmosphere. It's similar, like if you can bring the American, the crowds in terms of like the baseball fans, like you have your beer, you have your hot dogs and stuff in the crowds, I think it'd take off. As I said, I feel like that short format's so quick, not many delays, a tiny break in between innings, but there's no sort of timeout and it's quick, you know. So I hope. But I think it'll obviously catch on, and that's why everyone's invested. A lot of people are investing some good money, and this is why I'm talking to you, because the cricket's going in the right direction.
Right.
But it would also be nice down the line if there was red ball introduced, and if you do that slowly by introduce people like the youngsters, the red ball side of stuff. But I feel it is quite hard, isn't it, with all the white? Even in England, you got people watching the 100 ball now, and then you're trying to teach them to play red ball cricket and just to block the ball instead of try and reverse sweep it. It's uphill battle. So that's how I feel the game is. It's unrealistic to think that the majority of kids don't want to practice hitting the ball out of the ground or hitting the ball over the neighbor's yard because they've seen people do it on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the great things about sports in this country, professional sports and college sports, is we have time zones here. A lot of other countries don't have that. So, you know, you can pretty much watch sports all day long if you want to here. With cricket, that'll help, you know, especially when Major League comes around and you have a really high production quality. People who want to get into the sport, because they'll be able to find it all day long on a weekend. All right, so we're coming to the end of the interview. And one of the things we like to discuss, we like to ask our guests at Emerging Cricket, is if there's a law in cricket that you would change. What would you change about cricket if you had your way?
I feel this is because I'm a bowler, I feel like in the white ball cricket, like each side, like if you bowl leg side, you should be given some room for error. So if you go behind the bowler's legs, like you have like about this much space, and that you can use that to bowl your Yorkers in the depth at the end. So I feel like the game's going in a direction towards the batsman. It's going to make the bowlers better, but I only say this because I think Sean Pollock spoke to me about it, and they would consider doing it a while back. So you have an area that's much wider. Obviously, you got the wide crease, the wide Yorker line, and also you have just a tiny bit leg side, because the batsmen move around so much now. So you should be able to give it a little bit of something as a bowler, so you can hit it. Bowling around the wicket, it opens that line where you can fire. So you just go behind the heels. So,
right. Plus, there's still risk in taking that tactic. If you use that as a tactic and you miss, that's not good.
The positive side is, if the batsman knows you're bowling there, then it gives you more chance to go wide hole later on. You got a bigger room to be able to hit that wide hole, and they've got to be able to reach for it, which gives it less chance of hitting it. But that's never going to happen, mate. That's just me daydreaming.
I guess if you want that, you can just stick to test.
Yeah. If you did that in test cricket, I wouldn't be playing very long, but yeah.
Well, thank you, Liam, for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time for me. I know it's late there.
No problem, mate. It's as I said, we'd had a bit of connection on the Instagram, chatting a little bit about the minor league and stuff, and I thought that we'd end up doing like a chat at some point. So it's actually nice to talk to you, and it's just, to be honest, I'm just so excited to get across to America. And it's actually nice that I'm on conversations with people with American accent talking about cricket. That's
right.
That's really exciting to me. As I said, 15 years ago, I would have snapped your hand off if someone said that. So it's obviously good to chat cricket, and looking forward to catch up and talking some more.
Yeah, I had a great time for sure. I've been looking forward to this. So I'm glad we did it.
Perfect. Cheers, Nate.
Cheers.
On behalf of the team at Emerging Cricket, thanks for tuning in, and remember that you can of course subscribe in the usual audio apps for regular podcasts, keeping you up to date with news from all over the world of emerging cricket. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for loads more great content. Bye for now.